Welcome again, everyone. Thank you for being here for the Order Desk demo, our newest feature that allows communities to help other folks buy gift cards at events and also in the office. So hopefully this is something that will be relevant and helpful to you. What we're going to do today is have Ryan, our engineer over here, say hi, Ryan, is going to give us the demo for today and show us the feature. And then we will leave some time for questions at the end. Does that sound good? All right, everyone. Ryan, take it away.
All right. You want to give me a screen sharing privileges quick?
Yes, there we go.
All right. All right. And can everybody see what hopefully is very familiar to all of you on the call, the UFD portal? Cool, got some thumbs up. So yeah, nice to meet everybody. As Raquel mentioned, I'm one of the engineers at UFD. I'm probably responsible for all the bugs in Order Desk if you find any. So definitely, we'll definitely mention at the end. We're really looking for feedback and things like that as you go through this feature and use it. So yeah, hope we can chat about that at the end. For now, I'm just gonna run through this really quick. It should be pretty easy, but we'll definitely go through it here. So as mentioned, we kind of start off here on the eGift portal. And actually, to back up just a little bit, you'll notice up here, this is the Brooklyn card. I'm not in any of your dashboards or anything like that. This is just a test environment that we have. So it's actually not even the Brooklyn card. It's just a test card. So just something for us to play around with. So yeah, I'm sure this dashboard here looks familiar to the majority of you. Which you'll see now, and I set it up for everybody before this meeting. So if you log in, you hopefully will see it. If you don't, then please send an email to support@ufd.com and feel free to mention me if you want, and I'll definitely get it out there for you so that you have it. So yeah, just clicking on it. It should be pretty simple here, just a form to collect some basic information for that. Maybe it's a person visiting the office, or maybe you're taking a phone order from somebody in the community, or like Raquel mentioned, maybe it's a big event or something like that. And, you have a table set up and people are visiting the table. So pretty easy here. It's got information for the purchaser, a little bit of information for the recipient. You pick the gift amount and you pick the quantity. A couple notes about these is the gift amount, even though we select one here, it doesn't necessarily lock you into that gift amount. You can make edits once you're actually in the flow. Same with quantity, same with recipient name. The two that are really locked in are the purchaser email and purchaser name though, because typically it's just the one. So I'm just gonna fill some basic information, and I'm not very clever, so just gonna use names like that. And yeah, you can definitely change the amounts here, however you want to do it. And let's just do a couple just for safe measures. There is some text down here too. And this just basically tells you a little bit about what's going to happen after this, where you're going to be sent to and things like that. So pretty easy. And I forgot to mention, if anybody has any questions at any point, I really don't mind being interrupted. So just go ahead and unmute and ask away. So next, I'll jump into the flow here by just clicking purchase. And maybe some of you have purchased gifts through UFD before. If you have, this should look very familiar. What we try to do is reuse the gift flow so that it's something that people are familiar with and things like that. We don't want to throw any new flows or anything like that at people. So it's the same exact flow that you see. All we do is we just set up a bunch of data to allow gifts to be purchased on behalf of somebody. One thing that you will notice that maybe just a little bit different about this flow is we actually start you on the message tab. So we kind of skip, well, you set up the gift already, we skip the recipients and we skip the message. I'm just gonna click back to the recipients, and you can click down here in the bottom to recipients or the back button, either one works. And the reason we skipped it is we were given the recipient name ahead of time. So we filled out the recipient name here for you by setting up those gifts. We knew that there were 2 gifts. And we actually default all of them to print. And what you'll see in the end is you'll have the capability to print it if you do have a printer in the office or wherever you're at, taking the order for this customer. So we actually defaulted to that, just thinking that, if somebody walks in to purchase a gift card, often they're probably going to want to take something home with them. It will still get emailed and all that stuff to them, but you'll have the print option to be able to do that for them as well. Let's say, you have, maybe it's 2 different recipients. The first one, we'll just change here to, so yeah, you can, come in here and make any edits. You can add another recipient. Adding another recipient just adds another gift. You can remove, so you can make, all of the normal edits that you would in the regular flow. So let's just set that up quick, jump back to the message. And again, if you're fine with the name that was entered and you're fine with the printing, you don't even have to go to the recipients tab in the flow. You just go to the message, you can continue on your way and check out. So here's a kind of pre-confirmation checkout page. So a couple of things of note here. Let's say you do have some different names. You actually don't have to go back to the recipient. You can change the names here. The other thing I mentioned before is, let's say that they want one $5 gift and they want one $25 gift. So you can actually come in here and you can make that adjustment, and it'll actually, adjust all the values and actually check them out with the correct amount as well. So, so just a little note, and that exists today for anybody purchasing gifts in the flow. One note on this screen before we move ahead, you'll notice that there is a balance up here of $100. So typically what would happen if you send a gift today via the send a gift tab, if you're doing it through the community's Gifty portal, then it'll automatically use that balance when you go to send gifts, and it'll send them from the community. So, the purchaser will look like the community. What we're doing in this case is you're purchasing on behalf of somebody. We don't want to use your balance. So we're bypassing all of that stuff so that it's going to actually give you a credit card form, which we'll go to next. So here's, just a basic credit card form. You can fill in the information, a couple notes on this, the purchaser email address. This is the same email address that was entered on the order desk form. So the big notes about that is this email address is going to be used for the receipt. The email address that was given on the order desk form is also going to be used to do one of 2 things. If we've never seen the email address before, we're going to open up an account for them with that email address, and they're going to get a welcome to gift email. And that's just so that when these gifts are purchased, they can actually go into their account and they can manage those gifts. So if they want to send to a different email address or send to an email address, or if they want to add a phone number, do all that sort of stuff, they can manage the gift in that account. Now, if we've seen that email address before, then what we're going to do is we're just going to tie that gift to that purchaser. So then the same thing, they can log into their account and they can manage that gift if they would like to. And based on that, on the order desk form, when you're taking those orders, one thing we really do encourage is maybe double check with the purchaser that this is the correct email address. Because it's really important. That way, when gifts are sent to the email address, it's not going off to some other person's email address, and they might be able to take advantage of those gifts. So the other thing you'll notice is we aren't storing these credit cards. So basically then, you as the community person checking them out, you don't have access to their credit card in the future to be able to purchase gifts for all your loved ones. So I'm just trying to, make sure that people's credit cards are safe as well. And lastly on this, we do really encourage to kind of do a know your customer approach. So, if something looks sketchy, look for identification and things like that, so that you can validate who that purchaser is. If somebody's coming and buying thousands of them, it's probably a good idea to pause for a moment and just really make sure that Bob who's in the office is really Bob. And that's all to say, if there are chargebacks, then the communities will be liable for those chargebacks, because what we're doing here is behind the scenes, we do a lot of checking to make sure, like all the credit cards and things like that, just for any sort of fraud situation that might pop up, just because when you purchase things over the internet, anybody could be coming to it. So we, all that to say, go back to if it does look suspicious, just really do your due diligence and check it out. So, what I was trying to get at, I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. So typically we do a lot of checks behind the scenes. So in order to get your gifts to you immediately, and what you'll see on the next page is you'll see those gifts and the ability to print them. We're actually speeding up those orders to make sure that you can get those right there in front of the customer and allow them to be on their way. So with all that being said, I'll not enter the credit card right now. I actually set one up ahead of time. Same thing, just went through the flow. And basically when you click purchase, it just dumps them onto this screen. What you'll notice is all your gifts are here. So for the communities that do bonus gifts, if they receive bonus gifts, then they'll actually receive those bonus gifts here as well. So some people may want to come into your office and take advantage of those, and you'll be able to print the bonus gifts and the regular gifts that they purchase. And then on the screen, you can see the print button. You actually have 3 of them. So we try to really drive home the printing option. And what you'll notice is even if you put some delivery information in there, so you've got that email address, you have a phone number, we're still going to give the print option to you so that you can print that for them if they would like it to be printed. And if you click print, what you'll notice is you don't actually have to click every single print link. What it's going to do is it's actually going to just pop up a PDF, and it's going to have all the gifts there. So you don't have to go print and then print, print, and print. You can just print, the one, well, it's a couple pages here, but you can just print it once and send them on their way. And then lastly, if you would like to purchase another, so let's say, you're at some big event and you've got 1,000 people in line, which would be amazing, right? Then you can just click purchase another, and you should be able to then take care of that next person in line by just basically going through the same flow. So that's the end of my spiel.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions so far? Hopefully that's pretty self-explanatory, easy feature, very, very similar flow to what everyone is used to. Any questions? If not, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap here of the things that I think are most important that Ryan went over. The very first is on this page, right? This is where you would start the order. We've got the purchaser name, the purchaser email. The purchaser email is probably the most important thing here. And the reason is we want to make sure that this purchaser email is correct, because both the receipt and a copy of the gifts are going to be sent to this email. So we want to make sure that it's correct and these gifts are not being sent to someone else, right? And then I also wanted to note the language down here. So we're going to see that in the next step, the customer can add an optional message and pay with their credit card. A PDF of the gift cards will be printed after payment. The PDF with the gift cards will also be emailed to the purchaser email provided above. the purchaser will receive an email that allows them to log into their Yifty account where they can track the gift, send it via email, text to the recipient, and reprint. So again, like Ryan said, this just gives you a little bit of an idea of what happens afterwards, where all the information is going, and reiterates the importance of having that purchaser email be correct, right? And if you hop over to the other one, Ryan, thank you. The other important detail, second important detail, is that remember, this is going to take you directly to the message inside the flow over here, and that's to incentivize just quick checking out, right? Maybe you have someone who wants to buy 10 gifts, 30 gifts, and you don't have time to put in all of the recipient information, or they don't need to put in all the recipient information immediately. This just allows you to put in a message for everyone quickly and then check them out. However, you can always change that recipient information by going back to recipients over here and then personalizing, right? And should you want to not print for hand delivery and just send via email or phone number, you can do that over here for each one of your recipients. Remember, you can also add more recipients here if you need to, okay? Or remove them, all right? Now, the very last note and third most important thing is during checkout. So once we're over here, once we are entering these credit card payments, remember, you won't be able to save this credit card information. That's part of the feature. It just allows you to put in a credit card for someone who's buying a gift card, and then Yifty doesn't keep a record of that credit card. Now, the most important thing over here is this language down here that says for order desk purchases. And just want to go through it really quickly. It says that make sure you double check the ID of the customer, that the identification of the customer matches the cardholder's name of the credit card provided, as you're liable for chargebacks. As Ryan said, one of the things of this feature is that we're allowing you to get gifts immediately. Both the recipient is going to get the gift immediately, and you'll be able to print the gift immediately. So we are bypassing some of our fraud checks to be able to have these gifts immediately available to you, which is fantastic. But of course, we are having to check for fraud, and we're needing your help in order to do that. So just be aware that it's really important that you will be liable for any chargebacks. We really don't expect a lot of fraud on these, but always make sure that the cardholder's name on the credit card matches some form of identification that they have. All right. And with that, those are the three most important things. Now, we will be doing a survey as well. This is in our test stages, so thank you for being part of our test group. Please use it. Give us all the feedback that you want, and hopefully this feature is useful and we can just continue to make it better. So thanks again, everyone, for being here. Have a great day.
Thank you.